Hello and welcome back to some more Lord of the Rings Online. We are here once again at Skarhald this time. Last episode we finished off the epilogue stuff and well, we're done with the Black Book now. So I went on the wiki, had a little look, and this is apparently where the start of the next book chapter, set of quests is basically. And it reminds me that I really need to again sort out my gear. Like, I can't buy this stuff. I'm close to being able to buy some of this stuff, which would be nice if I could get, like, some, I don't know, agility jewelry here for 3,500. I've got 1,700, and I'm only 300 away from getting that, so maybe it'll be worth it. I think, though, it's probably best we wait till level 130, so 3 more levels, and then it's the best it can be, and then we're not wasting any Embers of Enchantment. But that's besides the point. We are here because Durin has a quest for us. Before we talk to him, we will go and look at our hobby gift of the day with my somewhat cleaned inventory. I took a day off yesterday from recording anything, and I just spent the entire day organising my inventory, basically, by taking everything from my carryalls that basically didn't need to be there, taking it out and sending it to the appropriate characters that needed them, which I'm going to try and continue to do from now on. So if I get, an ore from a chest, I'm going to send that to my prospector. I'm going to send the jewels to my jeweler. I'm going to send, the wood to my woodworker or my forester, the hides to my tailor, etc., etc. But either way, we have a bit more space now. It's just nice to see. But let's see what's in our hobby gift of the day. 100 virtual experience and a tome of extraordinary experience. And I'm loving the music in the background. It's very inspirational. Yeah, that's just something we'll probably just chuck into sending to another character just to level them up a little bit, because I'm still trying to level up my characters, or at least some of them, to level 50-ish, just so I can have one of each type of character, one class of each at level 50, just so I can quite simply send legendary weapons over to them, obviously eventually get them to 100, because then I can use any weapon that I pick up, can be then sent over to them. But let's use that 100 virtual experience with a little bit of lag. Good to know we've got this early. We'll hold off for the minute, and we'll have a look at Durin's quest, hopefully. Come on, Durin. Oh, it happened. I think we're having a little bit of... There we are.
You have returned, my friend.
It was fine a minute ago. So it is recommended but not required that you complete the Black Book of Mordor before beginning the Legacy of Durin and the Trials of the Dwarves, which is what this is. We have completed the Black Book and its epilogue, so that's all done and perfectly fine. I do not know when your Adventures to the South might release you, but I'm pleased it was sooner, not later. It's good to see you. Durin claps his heart, you heartily on the back, then he lowers his voice and warily eyes the courtyard. Truthfully, things have not been going as well as I hoped. I have been trying to ease tensions among the dwarves that had come to Skarhald, but it's not been easy. The Longbeards, Zelruk, and the Stout Axes here all take exception from each other, even on trifling matters of little importance. All three of these dwarf companies suffered grievous losses at the teeth and the claws of the Frost Horde under Karasgar's direction, but we have seen no sign of the worm since you departed. Or the worms. I thought you were just calling Karasgar a worm. The Weeping Warrior himself has not reappeared in that time. Do you know anything of that? A little bit. I didn't give him the book, so I think he's going to just be a little down in the dumps for a while. But now it forced me to get these dwarf clans working together, and it's not an easy thing. Perhaps you can ask members of each family what they think I should do on their behalf. Stout Axes, Zelruk, and Longbeards up the stairs here at Skarhald are sure to give you their opinions on the subject, and it may help me decide how best to proceed. So basically, we're going to have one from each. So Kovo from the Stout Axes, Bornek from the Zelruka, and then we've got Gloin from the Longbeards, all to be helped out just a little bit. We also get some legendary item experience, which is always nice, and a minimum level 130 warmly moonlit essence. Now, this is all level 130 quests, so we're going to see how we do with that. And update 28 has come out. I am not aware whether or not the update increases the level cap. It's not something I thought about before now. That's interesting, actually. But it does, I think, mean that a majority of our stuff we're going to be doing at the minute... Can I not use your quests? Are they just too low level? Okay. Yeah, basically, I don't know if 130 is the max anymore. And if we should be like... Obviously, I want to wait for gear at 130. But I'm not sure if it's going to be a case of that gear is then going to be superseded by a level 131 stuff. But we're a while away anyway from that, so it doesn't really matter.
Wants to know what is to be done. Ha!
Statax has a recommendation or two. I do not think he's prepared to hear him. So, he's a stout axe, right? Yeah. Now the Dark Claw is gone, the stout axe has emerged, take what we will and what we deserve. So I say again that the Dwarf Prince thing, what authority does he command any stout axe? He fought against the Frost Sword, so did all of us at Skarhald. I count his deeds, they're no better than any of ours. He'll need a dozen such victories before he's even matched at least one of my own. Yeah, well, okay, so you basically just want him to be more successful. We'll help him out doing that, you know? I'm sure he'll be good. Right, let's see what all the others say. I feel like the stout axes will probably be the hardest to deal with. I can shut my inventory now, can't I?
That much is clear.
If Botus Frostbud was still alive, he would not ask such a thing. He would simply tell us, and in no uncertain terms, woe to be any dwarf that did not comply with his command. Basically, I think they're just saying that they don't like that he's not been in a lot of battles, but also maybe he doesn't know much about each sort of subset.
I belong here in the mountains, courting danger and unafraid.
It seems we share the same affliction, my questing friend. Most of my company has gone home, satisfied with their adventures, but you and I belong in the mountains, courting danger and unafraid. I know there's a place of honor set for me beneath the lonely mountain, but no matter how great the feast, I would still feel the emptiness in my belly. My son Gimli will discover this hunger runs in his blood if he is not already, but from your recent tales, I know he has. I was about to say, Gimli has definitely done a lot of stuff. Tell Glowin, I don't know. I never know with the little like things above the O's. That Durin is seeking advice from the dwarves at Skarhald. Treat carefully with the J.R.R. and stags who have come here, for they are not his people and care very little for Longbeards. But each of his kindred defended Skarhald when the Frost Sword attacked, and each suffered losses, but there are fewer Longbeards here than the J.R.R. and all the Stagaxes were few in number to begin with. It seems that more arrive every day. Durin must be aware of this. Okay, so basically, obviously he's from the same sort of, I guess, clan, you could say. There are more Stagaxes showing up every day, and these guys, obviously, I think they were here first, I'm not quite sure, are just like, hey, you're not one of us, so don't even try. Is what I'm like getting from them, sort of thing. So we need something to unite them, obviously, but I don't feel like we can do. Even if Durin gets them all to like him, they're maybe not going to like each other still, even if they respect him as their leader. I also realise I've not turned on my speed. No wonder I'm going so slow.
Are your tidings as grim as I fear they will be?
Listen to your report of growing unrest among the Stataxes and J.R.R. and Glowin's concerns, and his face falls. He hefts the red axe thoughtfully. I came here too hastily. Each of our people suffered losses when the Frost Sword attacked, but there were never many loyal Longbeards at Skarhald to begin with. I only consumed command because there was no one else. Without a strong leader to unify each of the dwarf clans, I feared the Grey Mountain would prove a grave cairn for us all. They might still, but now it's not Drake's the Frost Sword I fear. I fear the disloyalty of the J.R.R. and the Stout Axes. Is there not betrayal in the history of both clans? I was about to say that. Like, we can't trust them, because they seemingly, from their words, are just like, we don't really like that guy. He hasn't really learned much, which to me is like, if we wanted to, we could easily. Especially with the Stout Axes, if more and more are showing up every single day. I need more loyal soldiers to reinforce me. I ask you to return to my father at the Lonely Mountain and request that he send as many Longbeard warriors as he can spare. Too many were lost in the Frost Sword attack, and I would not have us outnumbered by foes. So he wants us to go to the hall under the mountain. Can we go straight that from here? Erebor. Yeah? There isn't a way of getting straight in, is there? No. Okay, let's go Erebor and go talk to King Thorin over there. It's been a very long time since we've been in this location. But yeah, still looks cool. Right, let's go in. A lot of dusty pages. We did, I think, get rid of that quest because it was just taking up a load of space, so we won't pick those up. And do we know? Can we get on our goat? We can get on our steed even. Can we get on our war steed? We can. Okay. There's some places where it shows that you can get on your horses, but you actually can't. You like do the whole induction and then it just goes nah. So fair enough that we know that. It's just a straight line. That's 22k away because it's just technically it's in that direction because it's a separate room. It's a weird thing. And unfortunately we dismounted, so it wasn't even really worth it. I guess they're not thinking that... Oh, actually we can't. We can only use our goat in here. Or is that just what I was saying earlier about... Okay, it's interesting that here you can only use your goat. I get why in Moria sort of thing, but it's interesting that here you can only use it, whereas in the previous room you could use anything. A little bit weird. Just a tad weird, but it's fine. At least we have a goat, and, you know, that's why we keep it there, just for days like this. Because war steeds for fast, that's just general, and then here is for here. And Moria, if we ever, for some reason, go back there. So I have a quest from you. Oh, I did. Oops. Yeah, no, I'm totally doing that. Don't worry. Okay.
Welcome back, my adventuring friend. What news of my son?
Has he brought the heal, the J.R.R that travel without leave across my land? Not really. Right, I'm interested to see how much XP we get from this, because it is a 130 quest, so it's 3 levels higher than us.
I do not like this at all.
Okay, so it's not much more. I think we were getting about 471k, if I remember correctly. So it's about 48k more, is that? So it's not bad. It's about 500,000 more, basically. Let's round it up. Not bad. Let's... Not 500k, 50k more. That's what I meant to say. 500k sounded a lot. But it's over 500,000, so 500,000 XP means that we can go, hey, we've got 7 million XP to go, 14 quests, and we leveled up. That's just a nice way of thinking about it in our head. But when we get to 128, it's going to be lower because of the way it works, but it should still be over 500,000. Anyway, fine. Now's Nabgun Mazaru, the home of Stali the Hewer, southwest of the entrance to the dwelling halls of Erebor. Okay. Our cousins in the Blue Mountains could speak at length of the exploits of the villainous Dower Hands, and there's not only name of your dispute during it. We'll have his reinforcements. I will command the assemblage for the Longbeard army, the likes of which has not been seen in 70 years. Do you think this is unnecessary? I assure you it's not. I will not allow my son to be outnumbered by J.R.R or Stout Axes. J.R.R have long quarreled with my people, and the Stout Axes could not be remained thralls to Sauron for so long without it affecting them deeply. You remain unconvinced? Go then to Nabguz Mazaru, the home of Stali the Hewer, southwest of the entrance to dwelling halls, and ask him about grey malls. Then you will see the importance of caution even among dwarves, especially among dwarves. I am interested, since stout axes are now a thing, if there is any difference in dialogue if you are a stout axe. Because I think the most you get, really, on a large scale is, you know, it's just insert your race here, or insert character name here, or insert class here. That's the most you tend to get. Whereas that's like, he's obviously talking down about the stout axes. But if you are a stout axe, would he still say that? Or would he, like, more reference to yourself? Like, would he specifically say stout axes like you sort of thing? I don't know. Be interesting to see. I think other than that, the only thing is, like, depending on your race, there's a thing in the Lone Lands, I think, where you have to go talk to someone of your race, rather than just, like, if you're a man, you talk to this person, if you're an elf, you talk to this person, if you're a dwarf, you talk to this person, if you're a hobbit, you talk to the... I think whoever was the man person as well. I need to keep an eye out. Not keep an eye out, but, like... okay, southwest of the entrance. So this is entrance, so southwest. This way? Is it an interior location? I guess we can just look for a... Okay, this is the home of Stali the Hewer, Longbeard artist and sculptor of some renown. Okay, it was weird because it was pointing up there, but then it was actually down here. Only for a brief second, but it was a little bit weird. Oh, interesting. This is... is this your home? I think it's your home. Yes, he is a sculptor, so fair enough that this isn't your home. I didn't really think about that. Is that the mithril axe? No, it's not an axe, it's a hammer. Or he just did it badly. Anyway.
Welcome to Nabgun Mazaru, stranger.
Thank you for telling me how to pronounce that. I will continue not to pronounce it properly. Are you a patron of the arts? I must confess to you, my hours are quite full and a number of the half-completed works already. If you desire a painting or statue, perhaps to decorate your home, it will be some time before I'm able to get it. With that understanding set forth, what would you like? You tell Starlia that King Thorin did not send you for him with a task, but information on the Greymoor Dwarves. Better to forget they ever existed, lest you doubt the decency of your closest friend and your family. I am not to disobey the king unto the mountain, I will speak of them to you. Their ancient dwarf traitors in the first age who rebelled against Durin the Deathless, father of the Longbeards. Their leader was named Motsog, and he led the Greymoors into a bloody usurping against Durin. For a time the Greymoors ruled Durin's holdings, but it did not last. Durin returned and put Motsog to death, and the rebellion was quelled. Well, we know he's called Durin the Deathless then. I've been restoring a mosaic of this very event. If you would like to see it, it's over there against the walls damaged during the residency of Smaug. And once I finish repairing the stones, I'll return to the hall where it once stood. It will once again serve as a reminder that treachery is always rewarded with justice. So I'm assuming, yeah, this one here that we were talking about how... I've been doing a lot of Moria stuff, obviously, with the Legendary server, so my brain's like... Coming back here, my brain's in Moria mode, so I'm like, oh, that's Zingelberg, the axe. But it's not. Right, we're appreciating it. Let's appreciate it. In fact, I'm going to super appreciate it by just standing here for a second. There we go. Also makes it really easy to get a thumbnail if I really want that to be it. But
That mosaic stood in the hall under the mountain with many others for hundreds of years.
the coming of Smaug was not kind to any of them. Many of the stones were lost, and it has been a time-consuming process to recreate the mosaic as it was. But then Starly the Hewer commits to such a product, he must see it through to the end. Interesting.
Long, long ago, before the mountains were shaped as they are now, Durin awoke in the caverns beneath a mighty peak.
That joined two great mountain ranges on the north. He looked at the peak and gave it a name, and we have revered ever since. Gundabad, the mountain home. Fathers of the dwarf clans began to awake somewhere in Middle-earth after that in pairs, but he had awoken first of the dwarves, and alone. We revere him as father of the Longbeards. We are Durin's folk, and our claim to these lands springs from he who first awoke beneath Gundabad. In time, other dwarves awoke to accompany Durin and to serve him, but his closest friends was an almighty warrior who helped to delve the great halls beneath Gundabad. Legend tells us a friend was also the first dwarf to brew mead and later ale, but we do not think so well of him. He it was who would take the name Motsog, the leader of the Greymoors in rebellion, and they're still some years away. So it's basically his closest advisor, best friend, betrayed him. Okay. Servants of Morgoth in those days were a constant threat, and together with Durin and Motsog, fought bravely to defend the mountain home from them, but Durin grew restless. I can't speak today, I don't know why. He desired a place where the Longbeards might know peace, and he set forth in search of such a haven. He named his dear friend Motsog the Lord of Gundabad, a decision he would come to regret, and departed the sacred mountain. Do you see the statue there? That was one of my first pieces, and I dare say it's one of my finest. I hope to capture some small portion of Durin's majesty as he set forth on his journey to what would later become the site of the treasured Khazad-dûm. A lot of Durin appreciation today. It's Durin Appreciation Day today. Once again, get a nice look at it. I've recently, I'm testing a little bit on performance. I've recently upped the my settings to ultra high. I didn't do it on purpose. I was taking some screenshots, and I wanted the best quality for them. And then I've left it on, and I've not noticed. And the fact that I didn't notice any like drops in performance makes me think that we can hopefully keep it here, and it will just make the videos look better. But yeah, just thought I'd mention that. That's why I'm kind of trying to appreciate more stuff, I guess.
I can see you are an astute patron of the arts.
Fine eye for detail, I agree. I've done an excellent job in capturing Durin's heroism and majesty. He beams at you. You've clearly won him over. During the Deathless he was called, for he possessed a great span of years, and it seemed he would not die. It was not so, for death comes to us all, even the very greatest of dwarves, and yet we Longbeards believe that Durin comes back whenever the dwarves are in need of him, reborn into a new form. It is true, he has come back to us 5 times already during our long history, and we therefore count each Durin in a single line, from Durin the First, who woke beneath Gundabad, all the way to Durin the Sixth, who perished in Khazad-dûm to shadow and flame. Some folk believe the son of King Thorin Stonehelm may prove to be Durin the Deathless reborn, a 7th Durin to lead us into the future. I hope that is true. I have been planning a statue of him, and it would be a shame for this work to come to naught, but I have spoken too long already. Should get back to my endeavours. Return to King Thorin with my good wishes. So do they... Like... like, if you get called Durin and you don't do anything good with your life, you're just kind of a disappointment then? Because, like, okay, Thorin, I get it still. Like, it's a quite high name sort of thing. But then if you've got this whole thought of reincarnation into a body of the same name, like, do you just get renamed to Durin? Or you get called Durin and then you've got this entire stigma for your entire life, like, you must do something great. And then your entire life, nothing interesting happens, and you're just like, oh, well, what do I do now? And that's a really stupid thing to think about, but that's where my thought goes in my head straight away. Alright. Either way, we're going to go in. We're going to probably finish off after this. We've completed 3 quests today. It's 1.5 million XP plus, which is good. Nice to see. And it gets us started on this new thing. And it's a nice little introduction to what we've been doing. Yeah. We also need to keep this in our inventory for a little bit. I also found out, annoyingly, I can't buy another house for J.R.R. Like, you can apparently only own one house per account, I guess, which is a little bit upsetting. I wanted to buy a house right next to my other house and do that, but and put all my stuff up, because then what's the point of me having a bunch of like models of Mount Doom? Because I'm gonna have like 3 at this point. I'm just gonna have to get rid of a bunch of stuff because I actually technically don't need it. If I want a Blazon of the Great Alliance, just make a new character, and because I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of those on like every character. Anyway, King Thorin the Third. I'm back.
Spoke to you of Mutsorg in the Greybeards Rebellion?
Yes.
Good.
Now you see, a good team of friends can turn traitor, and why it's so important that my son would be surrounded by Longbeards he can trust. I've commanded a great force of loyal warriors to go with you to join my son in the Grey Mountains. Durin will have his reinforcements.
I judge that you
Does it then, is it like a cycle, where like, this happened once, it was obviously a big deal, but then you now see everybody as a potential threat and don't get too close to everybody, which means that people then betray you because they see you, like, thinking lesser of them. Whereas, like, if you just adopt them as, like, hey, you're pretty cool, sort of thing, would it maybe, like, not, like, break the cycle almost? Either way, it's not really worth thinking about right now. Anyway, you're proving yourself as a hunter of great courage. See, I told you it says about classes. And names. I judge you have a great eye for strength and the capability in battle. Will you measure the fighting prowess against some of the dwarves I have chosen to join this Longbeard army? I do not question their desire for glory. Indeed, these dwarves have fought bravely and well in time of war and achieved much honour thereby. But their greatest deeds are many distant years now, and these 3 heroes fought in the sick war of dwarves and orcs, but it was more than 220 years ago, when Durin's folk last set foot within Gundabad. The battle of Zanal Bizarre ended the war, and our losses were too great to pursue the orcs into Khazad-dûm. I have no doubt the bravery of these 3, but I want to know they still possess sufficient weapon skill to aid my son. You don't want to send someone that can't, like, swing a sword, basically. Seek out Anar, Lagi, and Wreathvald in the passages of dwelling halls and the new loads, and challenge them to battle. If they desire to join my son in the Grey Mountains after testing their skill against you, then they shall. So, looking at it, we're going to be getting level 130 stuff, which means my inventory, I feel like, is going to just slowly increase in size. I was about to say that's not a massive increase there, but that is light armor. If we look at this, more agility, more vitality, essence slots, plus generally, 27,000 more thing. Like, Christ, that's 100,000 armor on a heavy armor. And then obviously we've got this as well. So we can either have more agility, less vitality, or kind of share it out a little bit. I don't really know. Obviously I know we want to go finesse rating, but I'm not sure if we... I feel like, yeah, we should probably go that, because I feel like that's for more non-hunter. I think what you can do is, if I want to look... Like, if I go into agility, it says very important for you, and vitality is important, and might is like, sort of thing. You get what I mean? I don't know if it says here, like, finesse. I don't know. Like, I know generally what I want to go for, but yeah, I don't know if it was like, the tactical mitigation is incredibly important for you. Either way, we'll hold off on accepting the quest just so I don't forget what's going on. The effects in here make it look really weird, but we'll deal with all that in the next episode, I think, and you know, shoot these guys with arrows and hit them with swords and hope they survive and can help during, because obviously I'm not always going to be there. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode where we go attack some dwarves, go back to Skarhald most likely, and hopefully the stout axes and J.R.R don't see that as a threat and then start to attack us. Or maybe they do and then see it's a sense of strength. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.